Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Ali Naqvi. I am working as a medical officer in charge medical emergency in Chinnor General Hospital, Faisalabad. Today I bring another topic with you to discuss that is very much important and we will face in our medical emergency, that is acute loss of consciousness or irritability or confused behavior of patient due to hepatic encephalopathy. Hepatic encephalopathy is actually a condition that is a complication in chronic decompensated liver disease. And the decompensated liver disease, hepatic encephalopathy, is one of the very important and complicated condition, and I will discuss today. So let's move toward the topic. Let's start the topic, that is hepatic encephalopathy. What is hepatic encephalopathy? Hepatic encephalopathy is a decline in the brain function that occurs in severe liver disease. Actually, in layman language, I usually explain to my patient about the condition while saying that liver is the mother of the body. As mothers, all the mothers in the world or in the universe try to protect her babies from harmful incidents. Same liver is doing. All the toxins in the body are detoxified by the liver and then excreted. Unfortunately, liver is not functioning properly, and that, sorry about the mistake that I said. The liver is not functioning properly, due to which toxins are not adequately detoxified, or toxins are not adequately removed from the blood. So there is increase in the toxin level in the blood, and that may damage the brain. So this is the condition that may result in hepatic encephalopathy. This is the way I explain some normal physiological phenomena, that is, this is the intestine and we take the food. There is an ammonia move into portal systemic shunt and move into the blood, and the same way it through the blood enters the liver. While entering the liver detoxified to urea excreted in the kidney. But unfortunately, liver is not functioning properly, so ammonia level increasing in the body. So few the ammonia went to the muscles and converted to glutamine, and some move into the blood and the brain. It can pass the blood-brain barrier, so it results in the formation of glutamine damages the brain and increase in intracranial hypertension pressure or cerebral edema, which is resulting in hepatic encephalopathy. There are a few triggers that are very important in increasing the hepatic encephalopathy, that is constipation increasing the level of ammonia because these are not adequately excreted, that's why level increase, and same thing happen. Dehydration increases stress increases ammonia, and that is also the reason. Infection increases the stress, and due to stress ammonia level is increasing. Hypokalemia, it's a theoretical explanation of this. I will explain in another slide sometime. Excessive protein intake, protein itself contains ammonia in it, so excessive protein intake will increase the ammonia. And same as dehydration may increase, I explained already here, stress, and that may be resulting hepatic encephalopathy. So clinical feature, patient come to us with disturbance of consciousness ranging from mild to confusion to coma. Patient may be mildly confused and may be in the coma. I will tell you laterly in this video what are the stages or grading of the hepatic encephalopathy. Multiple neurological issues or psychiatric, like flapping tremors like birds, dyspraxis, memory loss, fatigue, lethargy, slurred speech or disoriented, and he or she is not know about him and behaving strangely. So let's start with the grades of hepatic encephalopathy depending upon the features, and then I will explain the management of hepatic encephalopathy. There are 4 stages. We have divided the hepatic encephalopathy according to features, stage 1 to 3, 4. In the stage 1, patient might have anxiety and most important altered sleep pattern. The attendants will tell you that patient sleeps in the day but keep awake at the night. Other the flaps are present, like I have explained, just like this, and apathy. In the stage 2, all these features plus patient has moderately confused or maybe disoriented from time, place and person. In the stage 3, the patient has the features of all of them plus severely confused, or he also have incontinent to what we say to him. Whiskey sign may be positive. I missed to mention it. The whiskey sign is positive, and so spelling mistake is there, but unfortunately because I am holding my camera in my hand, that's why. And the stage 4, there is a coma. Patient is completely comatose. So how we will manage the patient? This is how we manage the patient, as in the emergency airway, breathing, circulation, ABC. Ensure the patient is maintaining on airway or secure stable airway if needed. And next step is the breathing, that is check the SO2 pressure, saturation, and if we need to give him oxygen or her oxygen. Let's start with circulation. We will start the patient dehydrated. The drug that is actually used for the only used for the fatty calf is riflexamine, that is 550 mg per oral BD, and syrup lactulose Dufalac 15 to 60 ml per oral by ng 4 to 6 hourly. Lactulose will end the constipation and result in the excretion of the ammonia, so it decreases the ammonia level in the blood or body and results in the improvement. On the other hand, the Minoloban is used because it contains Minoloban is actually used in the patient who is severely dehydrated as well as have ascites. Ascites is also a complication of decompensated chronic liver disease, is also a feature of it. So that's why we use Minoloban, because it contains essential nutrients in it, like essential amino acids. And for otherwise, if the patient not having the ascites and is normal but he is hepatic in calf, we can give him normal ringalactate or dextrose line, or dextrose water 5%. On the other hand, we will give the ceftriaxone injection 2 gram IV OD perfectly for to avoid the spontaneous bacterial peritonitis. It is also a complication. And in the case of jaundice, we will give the syrup Hepamers. These are the measures we will take in the ward and emergency. Let me tell you about the rifaximin. Rifaximin is actually a poorly absorbed antibiotic which is poorly absorbed from the gut. It acts in the gut by reducing the amount of bacteria that is producing ammonia in the gut. In this way, it decreases the level of ammonia in the blood. So in this way, and we will observe the patient and admit and keep on maintaining an IOP chart. The patient, in my experience, and I have seen many patients, more than 500 plus patients of this. In my experience, I have seen that most of the patients come to us with the constipation. So lactulose is very effective because it is non-absorbable and it increases the excretion of the ammonia. As we overcome the constipation and patient become well and come out of the hepatic calf. So this is the few and brief explanation of the hepatic in calf I explained earlier, and I have explained the management of it that we usually and we have to do in the ward and in the emergency. Hope you get my points, and I again thank you for supporting me on my channel, and also I am thankful to you, and I will be welcoming to all those people who will help me or increasing my knowledge. Please share your knowledge with me rather just watching it or discuss it with yourself. Just send me message or mail. I shall be very thankful to you. God bless you. Allah Hafiz.